Hello, everybody. I have a surprise for you. So, those of you who pay attention to what I do, you would know that I had an interview coming this afternoon. I am actually excited to speak to somebody who I consider a legend in the sense that what he does is unprecedented in Ghana. It's wonderful to see our people distinguishing themselves like that. My guest is just arrived, so hold on one second. Let me chat. Hello.
What you make up?
It's Kapa. I am on the live feed, so I'm just running the intro.
Okay.
Set the I'm off. Okay, everybody, guest is ready. Everything is being done in the background, and it's really exciting to go. So, hold on a second. Let me run the intro. When I finish running the intro, my guest will be ready and we will kick straight into it. It is the Manson Show, and you are welcome. Absolutely welcome. Hello there. Welcome to the Manson Show. So hopefully you are not a stranger here, but what goes on here is education, definitely some empowerment. We add humor, information, and just a good vibe generally. It is not just a talk show, it's a live show. We talk about life, we unpick life, we find solutions to the things that stress us in life, and we make progress together. It is the Amma Manson Show, and my name is Amma, your girl, your educator, your motivator, and I kick your hand wherever we need to. Enjoy, invite other people to join in, and hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful experience on today's show. Let's get straight into things. Well, it's your brand, our expertise, and success. Welcome to Amma Manson's Marketing Publicity Package. We offer you interesting services which allow you to get your brand noticed. We will bring you to the digital space, whether you are personally ready or not, to increase your reach much better than traditional media. We are a company with many years of experience, and we bring those to digital media to help you represent your brand and to market. We do social media strategy, social media management, social media setup, brand analysis, where we help you create awareness of your brand perception, where we let you perceive your brand, compare your brand to similar ones to see performance. We help you expand your reach using our analytics. We help you showcase your previous work. We help you appeal to the new market. We increase your online presence using digital campaigns. Your reach increases, your engagement increases, your experience is integrated, and we do a lot of things for specific niches, including authors. It is all about the sociology and physiology, not necessarily about the technology. And we are a close-knit group which work together to get you your outcomes. Get in touch with us if we can help you market your products. For example, this could be yours. Your product right here on our program, showcasing your skills, your uniqueness for people to see, explaining the relevance of what you do. Do you get it? Very unique brand representation, letting people not just see what you do, but reaching a discerning audience who are very likely to be your clients. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello again. It's good to see you. So thank you for joining in. Please invite other people to join in. Hi, Henry. It's good to see you. Are you also having a tough time from the man as well? Not just you. It's you and I both. Hi, James.
Thanks.
Hello. It's good to see you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I hope you can hear me well.
I can hear you perfectly well. And I
Fantastic.
hope you do as well.
Oh, I can hear you clearly, but I think you've got another device in the background. There's a little bit of feedback. Are you watching from
Okay.
somewhere else?
Okay. That's
Are you watching from another device, or has somebody got another device playing?
there's nothing there.
There's nothing?
Is it okay? Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's improved. You can hear all the good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. I am excited. Welcome to the Amma Manson Show. One of the
Thank
things
you.
I love to do to talk to people who are inspirational, people who do wonderful things. And it's great. Missy, hi, say. Let's have a look. I need to find out where the feedback is coming from so we can fix it. One second.
Okay. Okay.
I want to those of you who are here, be patient with me. I want you to have a great experience. I am just going to run the advert whilst we fix the sound issue, and then we will have a much better experience when we come back. All right. Once they understand, my audience are discerning. They are not followers. They make up their mind based on good information. Come on, let's do this together. Right. Well, as you can see, be it short clips, be it infographics, be it banner for your social media pages, or any type of media which allows people to engage with your brand, to understand what you are about, to showcase yourself on your own terms, to bring people clarity about what you do and do not represent. Now, that's our job. It is our job to help you get your message across, whatever it is you are into, whether it's a JP consultancy, whatever kind of micro business you do, whether it's a construction, a service you deliver. It is our business to make sure that your audience gets you and gets your message clearly, and they discern and make discerning decisions favorably for you. Corona travels, hey, it doesn't matter. It is still our business to promote. Okay, everybody. Hello. It's good to have you here. I am looking to have a conversation with Mr. James Kwesi Addison. He is Ghana's leading emotional intelligence coach. I want to find out what emotional intelligence is. I want to find out a lot of things, I guess, but I'm trying to get everything so the feedback is cut. Hi, James. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It's better, but there is still a little bit of feedback.
Okay.
Could you please ask?
I'm a bit close to the highway, so I don't know. Probably
No,
it could be the vehicles.
No, it's not from the highway. When I speak, I also hear something else playing. So can you have please tell Godfrey to have a look at his phone. I want him to run a feedback check for me, see if he can find what it is and fix it for me.
Okay.
Might be,
Come again. You want him to?
Is there is another tab playing the video? Maybe it's running the feedback, the Facebook feed as well. If there is,
Okay.
off, please, and have a look. Okay. Godfrey, let's
Who's seen it?
Yeah,
see
I
them.
think it was WhatsApp. WhatsApp was.
Okay. All right.
Now, is it okay now?
Let's see. Yes. Oh, no, it's still doing. Okay.
It's
Let,
still,
it is still doing. So let's try it this way.
it's still,
I will take you off, and can you add yourself back in, and let's see if it improves. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Henry, there is too much echo. It is life. We try and fix things as much as we can. You're gonna have to bear with me whilst I wait for the guests to fix things. As for technical difficulties, they do happen. Not much we can do about them. But whilst we are waiting for my guests, I'm waiting for my guests to rejoin. It's a really good time to tell you about the people who sponsor my show and make it possible for you to see me and to benefit from the information we put out, to get the learning you want in the same place every time. And the first one is Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. So this is one of our sponsors. Reflections for a Thirsty Soul is written by a sister of ours, Sister Foda Atobra. She wrote the book. It's a book based on biblical principles, but it's not a sermon, if you like. It uses biblical principles. It applies these principles to real life scenarios to help you find motivation in your dark moments. It helps you get understanding of life. It's written by somebody who it has a lot of experience under her belt. So it's really good to see people like that talk. It's great that people like that bring what they have experienced and makes it available to you. It helps you get perspectives without necessarily having to get old first. It's amazing. It's one of the books that we will be reading if you belong to my book club. Even if you don't belong to my book club, please go and have a look for that book. You can find it on Freezing Press. You can also find it on Amazon and most of the other bookstores. Let's test my guest again. Hello. Hi, James.
Hi.
Okay. It's a bit better. It's a bit better.
It's better. Okay.
It's a bit better. We will have to
Okay.
work. It would be nice if it was completely gone, but it's much better. And so we will
Okay.
work. It's so good to meet you. I know about you, but my guests might not know about you. So I would like you
Good.
to introduce yourself to the guests the way you want them to know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, and I'm very grateful for such an opportunity. I don't normally take such engagement for granted at all, and I was very happy when I had the invitation from you, and I know your guests are very descending, and you are giving them the best that you can offer. My name is James Kwesi Addison, the Ghana's first certified emotional intelligence coach. I had my training from Canada and United Kingdom. Right, I've been in this project for close to 6 years now, and I normally engage schools. We have a program that helps to build emotional intelligence capability of teachers and educators,
All right.
because learning itself is a social and emotional issue. So when a child is not properly prepared for a mathematics, a simple beating up of the mother can cause the child not to get the proper attention that he or she deserves to do well in mathematics. We also engage community to ensure that there's community cohesion and commitment to the goals and ideals of whatever community you find yourself in. We've not neglected the workplace because there's the need for us to have a workplace emotional safety. Most of the time you have officers who are in charge of physical safety. When there's fire alarm, we know where to run and assemble. But who is in charge of emotional safety of the people you are working with or you are working for? So these are three areas we look at: education, workplace, and community. And to me, that is the totality of what we can really do for the community. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also have Emotional Intelligence African Summit, which is an annual summit. We have speakers all over the globe that normally come. We've done the first one, the second one. 2020 would have been the third edition, but then it's normally in November, so we're still hoping that if things change, then we can do something somewhere in November. This is the largest community learning event that brings speakers all over the globe, helping people to build their emotional capability for themselves and for their communities. So basically, this is what James does, and as we go on, there may be other areas that may be unveiling. Thank you very much.
I am so excited. You're very welcome, and thank you for coming. So some of us might know about emotional intelligence. It's something we hear a lot. When something happens and a person goofs, people would say, "Oh, he lacks emotional intelligence," or somebody does something incredible. People are like, "Yeah, this person is emotionally intelligent." But I don't think of really stop to find out what this emotional intelligence is. So now that we have an expert, I want you to clarify for us. What is emotional intelligence? What does it even mean?
Good. Good. I think it's a very important question that you sought to find an explanation and a deeper insight into. Emotional intelligence is one's ability to manage his or her own emotions and that of others, so that one, this person will be able to live empathetically, right? Relate to other people functionally, and then cooperate with others. There are three key things I want us to take note here. Is the ability to manage one's own emotions and that of others, so that you will be able to relate to other people empathetically, one, functionally, and cooperatively. Now, it is a set of indispensable social and emotional skills that are used to leverage knowledge for the betterment of yourself and others. Now, why is emotional intelligence important? Emotional intelligence is important because as humans, we are full of emotions. That point is very, very important. Mr. Addison, where is this emotions being important to humans coming from? Let's get back to creation. God created the heaven and earth. Right? Those that are Christians, we believe that God created us in his own image. Let's see whether God has emotions at all. Now, if God has emotions, then we as humans created in his image cannot deny the fact that we possess these emotions. For instance, God loved the world so much. Love is an emotion, that he offered us his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him will not perish but have everlasting life. The same God came down from heaven and met Moses on the wilderness and said, Moses, I have heard the cry of my people, and I want you to go back and set my people free. So that tells you that God that created us in his own image has emotions.
Right.
Now, Christ also has emotions. For I'm told, and I'm sure it's true, that the shortest verse in the Bible is Christ wept.
Yeah.
Christ wept. Somebody to weep means he's been moved by what I call unhelpful emotions. The Holy Spirit grieved. The Holy Spirit grieved. So that the Holy Trinity itself
Emotional intelligence. And so, when my guest is done, we will understand this concept a little better. Hopefully, we will all know how to improve our emotional management. And if we are not on top of things, we might be able to know where to go, who to seek, what kind of support to seek, so that we are able to manage what happens to us better. Welcome back, James.
welcome. Sorry, I think there was some break in there.
No problem.
So basically, we had emotions within us, right? Emotions, we are born with emotions. For even a child, 6 months, 7 months, has the ability to display emotions. So emotions are within us. They get angry, they get frustrated. That is why when they are getting closer to a hot water and you take them off, they get angry and they scream. So that is an indication that emotions are within us. But then we should have the ability to harness them for good, because we were created with emotions not for the negativity of it, but for the positive of it, right? So that is very, very important for us to note that. Secondly, emotional intelligence has become so important and very important in recent years, because for so long a time we were made to believe that when you are at school and you have a very good IQ, very good mathematician, it's a very good economist, all things being equal, when you come into the real life situation, these are people who should be the change makers. But then some years coming, from 1990, when Daniel Goleman discovered emotional intelligence, it came to light that other people that were not that up there in education are making a great difference in life.
Yeah.
So they got to recognize that there are other skills that really predict success more than the simple IQ. We are not belittling IQ. We are not saying that that type of education that gives you some experience or become a doctor, or a lawyer, a journalist is not good. But then research has shown that that is just an entry point to success in life.
Yeah.
Right? Very soon I will pull out some data for you to see that emotional intelligence is the better predictor of life success than a simple IQ. That when people want to promote others, when people want to pick leaders, they look at your social and emotional skills. Let's come into relationships. Any relationship that lack emotional intelligence is not going anywhere.
Yep.
It's very, very important that we understand the emotions of our couples, understand the emotions of our children, so that we can live and live well. A simple disregard to culture of your wife. Your wife may be an Ewe instance in Ghana, your wife may be a Fanti. A minor disrespect to the culture, right? We call it cultural intelligence, right? A minor disrespect to the fact that your wife has some norms, some beliefs, some assumptions, depending on where she or he is, where she's simply coming from. If you deny that kind of knowledge, is likely to cost you in your marriage.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're getting my point. Imagine yes, you know, fancies, they normally joke and tell us that you can teach away, right? The fancies love to, some nice breakfast, westernized way of breakfast. You're getting my point. So imagine your wives want to have a breakfast as a Western somebody, and you go passing some unnecessary comments.
Yeah.
It's likely to hurt the person's feelings. So this kind of thing can easily throw away a very good relationship. Now, if your wife is going through a challenge and you don't empathize, and empathy is one of the emotional social skills that is very, very needful. If you don't empathize, you are likely to lose the respect and the collaboration from your wife. That is very, very important.
It is so important. I'm glad people are saying it now. Guys, listen. So before, I don't think I've actually said this to you before. I'm a teacher.
Good.
And because I teach a subject that children find very difficult, I teach physics. Children find it very difficult to understand. Actually, usually before they come to my class, a lot of them have decided that they cannot do it. It's not possible.
Good.
It's for boys only. And when I first started teaching and I was trying to teach physics from just the subject, my success rate was at a certain point. Around the year 2008 or 2009, I think it was, I enrolled myself into an emotional intelligence course because working with kids who are from Black minority groups, we have a chip on our shoulder. I'm teaching a subject they don't get. I wanted to understand these kids. I wanted to know how to get the kids on board and how to get the kids intrinsically interested in my subject. I wanted to change the mindset. And I went on that course, came back, and the first set, so in 2009, summer 2009, the first set of students who passed through my hand after that course, I was in my house, and the phone call rang on results day, and the instruction was, you better get your hand in this school right now. Because there's a riot. What happened? The parents are not leaving, the kids are not leaving, nobody's going anywhere. Everybody wants to know what it is you did, because the A stars were rolling in non-stop. And people have always actually, I didn't know how I wanted about. I didn't really make the connection until a few years ago. It wasn't my which had changed. It just was the way I related to the kids. It was the way I taught the subject and made it accessible to these kids. And yes, it was not my professional training because I was already trained. It was not my subject knowledge because I already had that. The one thing which had changed my profession, and I had not even realized it, was that emotional intelligence. How to escalate issues, how to reassure people without neglecting them, how not to insult people even when you are frustrated, how to hide your emotions even when you want to ruin somebody's neck. These things all come under emotional intelligence, and I don't think sometimes we realize how important it is. And when you said something about it connected, of all the skills you have as a professional, even on social media, in all the things I do, people would always say to me, you are very diplomatic. But what they actually mean is that you are emotionally intelligent. But I have a question. Are you born with emotional intelligence, or do you learn it?
That is a very good question. Emotional intelligence, like any other skills, some people are naturally good when it comes to managing their emotions.
Right.
But the good news is emotional intelligence is learnable, is teachable, and is transferable. And as you've rightly said, after your project on emotional intelligence, the results was clear that it is your ability to relate to these children on their level of empathy, on their level of compassion, your connectivity to their emotional understanding appreciation that you give them, the reassurance, that is what really made them to understood what you were trying to put across. Yeah. So emotional intelligence, if even you don't have them, the better news is that these are teachable, learnable, and they are transferable. But basically, some people are naturally good when it comes to managing their emotion. And even those people, I can say on authority that they might have learned something initially from their parent, from their community, or wherever they have themselves. So there are two ways here, nature and nature. You get him up on what you come with and what we can add to make you a perfect being at the end of it all. Very, very important. Right. Now let me let us shift to leadership now. Yeah. I know we do the COVID, but I want people to really appreciate how broad emotional intelligence is. Let's move into leadership, and I want to ask you a question. Can you give me just five attributes of a good leader? Who do you think is a good leader? With your experience, can you give me just five? Or any of our followers, if you have anything to share with us, give me five attributes of a good leader.
Help me, because I can't do the five on my own. So those of you who are on, can you start putting your ideas on what you need? So to be honest, if anybody asks me about who a good leader is, I always say that a good leader has to be a strategist. A good leader has to be somebody who reads a situation, brings strategy to it, and executes exactly what is needed at that time. And you can take it into, in order to be a good strategist, you've got to be a good observer. You've got to be on point with communication. You've got to inspire people to follow you. So being good at what you do doesn't make you a leader unless you find people who will follow you. People who want to let you lead and they follow. Because if you don't have followers, you are not leading anybody. I think that a good leader also needs to be inspirational. You need to inspire those people. You need to connect with what they believe in. You need to get them to buy into what you think is important. And that buy-in is what brings you to finding followership. Nana says a good leader has to be a good listener. That's true. Somebody who listens to their subject. Yes, please keep the suggestions rolling. I've given you.
Good. You know, from the five, you've almost given me five. But let me draw attention to something. Out of the five, there's only one that has something to do with IQ.
Yeah.
That is the strategist. The person needs to be strategist. The rest that you mentioned, all of them were social and emotional in nature, inspiring, connecting to people, ability to listen, right? So research has shown that what really makes us successful in life, between 80 to 90% are social and emotional skills.
Yeah.
Predictor of a leadership. Right, so that is very, very important. Now, let's move to the workplace.
Yeah.
Workplace emotional safety, right? A research was carried on in Europe 2013. A research was carried on in Europe 2013. They sought to find out about the costs of psychological abuse, emotional abuse at the workplace. Oh. And the whole of Europe, it was costing them $620 billion.
Yeah.
$620 billion in 2013. It was carried out by Matrix. Now, what will shock you is that out of the $620 billion, $270 billion was as a result of absenteeism and presenteeism.
Yes.
Absenteeism and presenteeism. presenteeism, you want me to be there, but the environment is not that conducive for me. I'm not happy. Nobody appreciates me. So I am there. 5, 10 minutes, 1 hour, I've done nothing that gives us productivity.
Yep.
Absenteeism, I can easily call on my GP and tell my GP that I'm not feeling that well. GP can examine me, nothing is wrong, but he or she will be forced to give me a week or 2 because of the fact that the work environment is not that conducive. So emotions have a cost. Our inability to manage our emotions can cost us, and it affects the bottom line and productivity. So it's in the good interest of every entrepreneur to ensure that his workers or the environment is emotionally stable. Very important.
So those of you who watch me, the head teacher I currently work with. So in my career, I have worked for 2 women who are emotionally intelligent. And they can even the rebellious character, which is me, to do what they want before they ask. And having watched these 2 women, when I go to other places where people want to micromanage, they want to get in my face. I am one who does it on my own terms. I know you employed me to do a job. I do that job. I don't need you to come tell me. I don't need you to check with me every 30 seconds. When you do that, it's micromanagement. And I object to it. Now these guys, the airport thing is back again. I don't know why. Where did it come from? It went down and now it's on loud. Okay, so these 2 heads, the current one. I've only worked with this woman since September. This woman, the way she does her things, the way she sends us briefings, she explains everything. When COVID happens, what information she receives is exactly the same information she gives us. And it makes me feel like she knows I'm an adult. She doesn't need to hide anything from me. She trusts my judgment. And so I make judgment on point every time because I know that this woman trusts my judgment. I don't second guess myself because I'm professional enough anyway. And if I think it's a good idea and I do it, and I need to justify to this woman, I say to her, I did. She says, forget it. You are the expert. It's okay. You keep going. And the productivity she's getting out of me, in comparison to the job I have, there's a whole attitude in my output, in my performance. And I always say to people, this woman is so emotionally intelligent. But please, unpick it. If somebody wants to be emotionally intelligent, what do they need to do?
Come again.
So I say I've started a business and I know I am not very intelligent. If you are somebody who gets angry easily, you are not emotionally very intelligent. Especially if you get angry easily and everybody sees it. You can be diplomatic even in management of frustrating circumstances. If you are not in control of your emotions, it's easy for you to set other people off as well and for you to have backlash to deal with. So say I am one of those people. I know my emotional intelligence is a big issue for me. It's an area I need to work on. What do I do?
Good, a very good question. You know, as you rightly said, you went on a program when you saw the need to fill a particular gap. So the first and foremost is that we need to opt out for trainings that are very, very important in area to deal with emotions. But then there are some basic techniques that I can give briefly whilst we are engaging. Now, the very first thing you need to understand is that emotions are involved in everything a person does. And for that matter, our ability to manage the distressing emotions will determine how far we go in life. So anybody that is not that good in managing emotions must from today, especially your listeners, your followers must from today appreciate the fact that they cannot turn a blind eye to the power of emotions. That is the first lesson. You must know that emotions are very powerful. They can make and omake. Your productivity depends on emotions. Your ability to get the best out of people depends on how you manage your emotions and how you manage their emotions. So first and foremost, let's appreciate the fact that emotions are part of everything that we do. We may not be conscious of that, but then if you critically have a look at all your decisions that you have taken, they were all underpinned by emotions. And secondly, we shouldn't underestimate the power of emotions to make or not make. Very, very important. Now, if people are moved by emotions, right? If people are moved by emotions, and people move productivity, then as an entrepreneur or a leader, you should be able to harness your emotions so that you can move people's emotions, and then the emotions will move, the people will then move productivity. I'll give some 3 secrets to emotional self-awareness.
Yes, please.
These people must first and foremost know what triggers their emotional world. What triggers your emotional world? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you frustrated? Get a book from today and list 550 causes of your anger, 550 causes of frustration, 550 causes of happiness, 550 causes of joy. What I'm trying to say is that have that ability to know what will trigger a particular emotions in you. It's very, very important. If you know that when somebody disrespects you, it makes you angry, then you are becoming a bit emotionally intelligent. Why? Because when somebody does that, and now you want to manage it for good, you can do better with that because already you know. It's like you are sick and you don't know you are sick. You may be eating food that is not good for you, and the end results will not be good. So first know what triggers your emotional world. What makes you happy? What causes you angry? What causes you frustrated? When people don't submit assignment on time, do you get frustrated? Very, very important. So that is the first secret. The second secret is how are these emotions manifest in you?
Oh, yes.
If you are angry, how does it manifest? Do you throw your
Okay, we've lost signal with James. James will fix the... I've lost signal with James. I'm going to try and reestablish it. Welcome, everybody. I hope you are here and you are ready to learn, because it's one of those discussions we have. The person might not be somebody you know well, but it really doesn't matter whether you know him well or not. James is an authority in this area. Like I said to those of you who were here at the beginning, a course in emotional intelligence explains a lot of the success I have had as a teacher of a subject children find impossible. Yeah, because I know how to connect with these kids and to inspire them to try harder. I am able to reach to their emotions. I'm able to get them to understand that it's important for them to continue moving on, even when they are not seeing results. It builds resilience in these kids, but it comes from a training I went to 2008 on emotional intelligence. If you know Ghanaians trigger your emotions, and Ghanaians are people you live with, you have to just learn to manage your emotions. Hello, can you hear me, James?
Good. I can hear you.
Somebody asked a question. Just introduce her so she knows. This man is Mr. James Kwesi Addison. He is Ghana's first and leading emotional intelligence expert. Now, when I heard Ghana had an emotional intelligence expert, I wanted to jump up and down because I think it's fair that most of you would admit that as Ghanaians, development of emotional intelligence is not done routinely when we're growing up. A lot of us have anger management issues, and it tells you that you are not managing your emotions successfully. A lot of us are timid. A lot of us get frustrated so easily. A lot of us give up so easily. These are all symptoms of poor. So I have an expert in this area. Oh yes, we should be learning. And he's explaining a few things to me. The feedback. Godfrey, could you have a look at the feedback for me again? Something is feedbacking again in the system. Right, bear with me, guys. So this is Godfrey. Say hi to Godfrey. This is the magician who makes a lot and for the tech. It's an absolutely challenging day tech-wise, so be patient. He will fix it, and we will continue the discussion from the high stage. Life experiences, one's birth order, upbringing, job one does, all contribute to emotional intelligence, especially if we consciously try to develop it. And the critical point is the consciously choosing to develop it. I think it's important. Thank you. Bless says, how do these emotions manifest in you? James, can you hear me?
Yeah, come again.
So Blessed Beyond Belief has asked the question. She says, how do emotions manifest in you?
Okay, yes. So that is the next point I was going to move into, right? So Blessed should still stay on. Yeah, we've looked at what triggers our emotional world. Now, how does it manifest? It's very, very important. One of the ways to be able to manage your emotions is to be able to know how a particular emotions manifests in you.
Yeah.
Now, there is something I want your followers to take note here. Why is it that the manifestation of emotions is very, very important? Manifestation of emotions is very, very important because when emotions are involved, the rational brain is hijacked by the emotional brain. When the rational brain hijack when the emotional brain hijack the rational brain, in that split of a second, you are not able to think rationally. Yeah. So what you're going to do is revert to your body languages. Yeah. How am I breathing? Am I shivering? Is my hand shaking? Am I sweating? I mean, am I having a headache at this present moment? Now, all these things are now the things that will help you to know that at this point in time, I am angry or I am frustrated. Because when you want to go back to your rational brain and find out whether you are angry or frustrated, at that point in time, the rational brain has been hijacked by the emotional brain. Very, very important. So you need to study your body, the physiology. Let me take you to emotions. Then we really appreciate this point. What is an emotion? Emotion is a mental state that arises spontaneously without conscious effort to make it happen, but it's most of the time accompanied by physiological changes. I will take a repeat to that and pick the three key words in. Emotion is a mental state. That means all emotions begins from the brain. It arises spontaneously. That means we don't have to do anything to let it come. You are not angry in the morning. Your child does something just some few minutes ago, you get angry. You were very happy when you were going to work. Somebody meets you, it just says something, then frustration comes in. So it's a mental state that arises spontaneously without conscious effort to make it happen. Thirdly, but it is most of the time accompanied by physiological changes. This is a very, very important. Physiological changes. Have you seen somebody who is frustrated, never told you that I am frustrated, but you read the facial expression and you will see that this person is frustrated? So every emotion must display for people to know, unless you want to manage and hide it. All other things being equal, the physiological changes will be displayed.
It's excellent.
Very, very important.
Excellent, that point. You know, if you know yourself, and actually you will find that as people from 30 onwards tend to start improving naturally with the way you manage emotions because experience teaches you. I know, for example, for me, if something big frustrates me, the first thing that happens is that my body stills. I stop. And so my children, my husband, the people who know me, if we are having a discussion and you find me still, whether I am conscious of it or not, now they all pick it up and they augment behavior because you know that I'm about to move in a particular way. I will stop talking. I will still. My own self inside, again, I've learned to hide a lot of these things so people don't quite see it. People who know me find that in a very stressful situation, I smile a lot. That's because my first instinct is actually internal. My jaw clenches. My jaw clenches. And if I'm not conscious of it, you will read it from my face. And so as somebody who works front-facing, as somebody who works with kids, as somebody who is working with people who shouldn't read my emotions easily, because children know you are frustrated, they frustrate you. So child is frustrated and they can frustrate you, they will. But most of the time, when they tend to frustrate me, I laugh. It's my reaction. I laugh over things, and then that's not the reaction you're expecting. So when I start laughing, you get confused because you don't know what to do. But you try to manipulate me. So yeah, my jaw clenches. And as an individual, anytime I feel my jaw clench, regardless of everything, I have to stop. I have to stop. I have to think. I have to work out what it is triggering this particular thing, and I have to give you the exact opposite to what you are expecting to see.
Good.
So what about the rest of you?
Good. I think you said something about the fact that you react opposite to what people expect. And it's a very good technique in emotional intelligence. There was a woman that I knew, she's well to do, in a very nice relationship or a family setting. And she attended my program. And one day I was there and I had a text that I want to leave the marriage. I want to leave my marriage.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I've finished my training. I've taken my coins away. This particular one, how do I manage this? So for almost 2 weeks, I was running away from the call of the woman because I was thinking, what would have caused this woman to leave the marriage? She owns his own micro institutions, micro learning institutions. You getting my point? And so it got to a time I couldn't run away any longer. So one Sunday, I saw the woman still calling. And I went on my knees and said, God, what do I do? Because this one, I don't know what I'm going to say. What techniques am I going to give out? So I picked the call and the woman started talking. And then when the woman started speaking to me, I got the point of the solution. Why? Because the woman was able to tell me the fact that the husband knows what causes him to be angry and frustrated.
Yeah.
And that is what he does when he wants to get him off the hook. And I said, then mommy, you don't have a problem. You don't have a same status. Why don't I have a problem? I say, yes. Now, what you are going to do is to give him the opposite reaction.
Exactly.
Now, yes. And when you do that, they think, is everything okay with this woman? Yeah. So the man will get him frustrated, thinking that today when I get home, there will be fireworks. I said, that day is the day that you go to the door. Don't ask the children to go and open the door. Go and open the door yourself. Be in your nightgown, white, and say, oh, darling, I was work today. And you see, the man will go into the room to change. It will take him 30 minutes to come back. He's confused. That what is happening? Is my wife okay? You get my point. So it's a very good strategy, especially when you are with children, to do that. This is what we call managing distressing emotions in a directly opposite manner.
Yeah.
What people expect from you, they don't get it. And the importance is that emotions are contagious. We may not be able to go into characteristics of emotions today, Obama's comeback, but I want people to note that emotions are contagious. Emotions are like virus. So emotions or today or sign, you're getting my point. So you can easily transfer your anger to people. So you must have the techniques to self-defense, making sure that people don't rest their anger on you. Very, very important. Very, very important. So know what triggers, know how you manifest them. I was in Biriwa in the central region, MVTI student, and I was there to help them build emotional resilience, ability to bounce back and do better in terms of challenges. So I was taking them through these basic techniques, and I asked them, how do you manifest? How do anger manifest in you? And one of the young guys stood up and said, I said, yes, tell me. He said, when I am angry, my hand will start shaking.
Yeah.
To be shaking like that. And as soon as it starts shaking and I hit you, you will go down straight away. I say, clap for this gentleman. You get to my point. So we still have the ability to see how we manifest most of the emotions. It's very, very good. It is very, very good because it is the source and your strength to manage emotions when you don't want emotions to get out of hand. So we know the triggers, how it manifests. Now, combining the two, we want to now, we don't want emotions to lead us into any negativity. So we move to the last one. How do we now manage emotions? So if you are angry and your hands start to shake or you experience headache instantly and you don't want to insult, you don't want to hit that child, now what do you do? That is the management aspect of it. So there are so many management techniques, right? You set most of them. You can walk away, you can take some deep breath. You get to my point. All these things are, remember, the rational brain has been hijacked. So in all these practices, we believe that at that time, the emotional brain would have released the rational brain to settle. Now you can do the pros and cons of every direction that you want to go. So walk away, take a deep breath. You get to my point. I mean, make a fun out of situations around. One of the ways to be emotionally intelligent is to put a spin around most of the difficult issues. The beauty is that when you put a spin around challenging issues, you are opening up the area of the mind that controls creativity. So a way to deal with that particular issue will rather come when you play around it. Very, very important.
That is very powerful. So for those of you who I am a woman with 2 children and I don't have a flat belly. I've not had a flat belly for 15 years now. And when I started on social media, people would go like, "Oh, are you pregnant? Oh, yeah, your belly is big." And every time people call me, they always associate my belly with Banku for some reason. Your stomach like Banku. And every time people call me and tell me my stomach is like Banku, the first thing I'll say to you is, no, you've got it wrong. And people are like, so they're expecting me to come and defend and tell them that my stomach is not big, that it's not nice that they say that to me. But really, when people say that to me, the first thing I'll say to you is, no, you've got it wrong. My stomach is like Twozafi, not Banku. My own is soft. It is even more ugly than Banku. When I say that to people, I find that for about 2 minutes the person can't talk because the person has already addressed what they are going to say, what I am going to say, how they will respond next. And by actually changing the way I respond, to break that cycle right there. The person is lost. They don't know what's happening. Like, but I insulted you. I'm like, oh wow, you are so good at insulting. Wait, let me take a pen. I need to write this one down. So good. Oh my God. And people are like, what? somebody who came in wanting to offend, wanting to irritate, will find that they get irritated because you don't know what to say. You've broken that chain of command, and it's really important. That one. I wonder if you might be able to give us practical tools like that. When you feel the fire rise, when you feel your stomach clench, when you feel your jaw clench, what do you do?
Now, I mean, you've already, in a disguise, given a lot of solutions to this thing, very, very important. The first thing is like what we've all agreed to, making fun of a very difficult and challenging times, right? Now, secondly, what is the good lesson out of what is coming to you? What is it? The harm might have been caused already, but what lesson are you picking up so that next time you won't go through that frustration? It's very, very important. Critical and good lessons must be learned. You are frustrated, you are angry, you want to go out there. Quickly ask yourself, what is the good lessons here? There is good in everything. There is good. If not, we will be discussing COVID today very soon. You get my point. COVID is taking a lot of life. COVID has brought about a lot of challenges. Why are emotional intelligence seeing good in the COVID? Yeah. You get my point. So there's good in every frustration and everything that comes. Practically, you should also be able to do what I call impulse management. Ability to delay that decision for a split of a second. Delay that decision. Delay that decision. We are not saying don't take a decision, but delay that decision for a split of a second, and you see the difference that could make in your final decision. Very, very, very important. Reality checks. Very, very important. What you have perceived, what is really on the ground. At that moment, what is the perception you are holding? Is that perception equal to what is really happening? Most of the time we perceive, we move into action. We might have perceived, but then in reality is something that is entirely different from what we perceive. So when you are angry, you are frustrated under any condition that is of so negative and intense, put on your mental agility. I call it the mental agility. Look at it from different perspectives. You are a teacher. Are you looking at this situation only from the point of view of a teacher? You are a medical doctor. Are you not sure you are only looking at the medical aspect of it? You are not married. Are you not sure you are only looking at it from the point of not being married alone? If we're married, if we're not a medical teacher, if we're not a teacher, how would you have looked at these things? These things are very, very important in terms of managing distressing emotions. Very, very important. And of course, walk away, those ones are there. You're getting my point. Then you can also decide to sort of, if it's in a meeting, right, and you are boiling up, one of the techniques is that whatever you want to say, write it down, right? In writing down, you are cooling down. Before you get to the end of the sentence, you start canceling them because you think that, no, I think it's not needed. Let me just forget about it. So you don't take the heat onto the paper, but the heat is on the paper writing. So the paper will absorb the heat very well. And before you are ready to speak, you will see that some of these things, it doesn't matter. People know that what is speaking is rubbish and it's out of context. Why do you have to go and challenge it? People will not use it. It's not going to affect the decision of the board. So let me just ignore it and move into the better areas of discussion. Very, very important.
I have a question.
Okay.
Somebody was saying to me that it's not possible to be emotionally intelligent if you are not confident. And it's not possible to be confident if you are not emotionally intelligent. And the very first time I heard that thing, I had to pause and think, like, what? It's like the egg and the chicken situation, isn't it? If you are not emotionally intelligent, other people's feedback will ruin your self-esteem and you will lose your confidence because you prefer other people's beliefs over yours. And that to listen to people who say, I can't work with this one. Okay, this is intelligent for him, but not for me. This doesn't work for him, but it works for me. I will go. That is confidence. That's self-confidence, and it comes from that awareness of being intelligent emotionally. But it's also not possible to be confident. So you can't be emotionally intelligent if you are not confident, and you cannot be confident if you are not emotionally intelligent. How do you relate with that?
Good. You've done some a very good analysis there, right? It's like saying that celebrating failure. How do you celebrate a failure, or how do you celebrate a failing situation? There are two things apart. We celebrate success, but you are celebrating failure. So we have what we call the building blocks to emotional intelligence. We are looking at emotional intelligence as the bigger umbrella. What other blocks can we bring together to put up the structure, a complete structure that we call emotional intelligence? And one of them is what? The confidence. It's one of the things that we're going to talk about in this era of COVID-19. It's the self-confidence that is helping us to manage COVID-19, and we can only defeat COVID-19 with self-confidence, especially to the Black race. When we get there, we'll go a bit deeper into that, right? So that we don't relax and wait for medicine and vaccines from abroad only. Do we have that confidence and that level to develop something out from our own medicinal plants that we are likely to have them here? So that statement is perfectly true, and it's a very good statement to make. That anybody that to be frank, that is the first building blocks of emotional intelligence. When it comes to emotional self-awareness, the very first one under that is confidence. Very, very, very important. Anybody that lacks confidence is not going anywhere. You know, God gave us confidence. And I'm happy you brought this thing about. If you want to destroy somebody, take the confidence out of that person.
Simple.
Let me ask you this question. When you see children, right, trying to walk, don't they fall?
They do.
They fall down. They hit their head against walls. You get my point? They get injured. Why don't they stop? At that early stages, why are the children not stopping? Why didn't I stop? That I would have just decided to lie down, because I know if I go, I will fall down. That means God gave us a very good self-confidence in life. Very, very, very good. That is why Christ was able to question the older people at the age of 12, because the gentleman knew himself. Christ knew himself. The Satan said, turn this into bread. Christ said, you are a fool. You are a fool. Bread, turning stones into bread is not an issue for me. I'm going to raise the dead. I'm going to walk upon the sea. Are you getting my point? So turning this one, you are a fool. I know myself. So without self-confidence, you are not going anywhere in life. And it's one of the main building blocks of emotional intelligence.
It is so critical.
Yes.
It starts from here. So
that is it.
When I want to do things and I allow this to overwork, what it does for me is to tell me all the reasons why I shouldn't do it. And all the reasons why what I'm about to do will fail. And all the reasons why I shouldn't do it because I can do better things. And what I've also learned over time is the minute I hear this voice, it is my instinct to actually try anyway. I would do it anyway. I would take that risk anyway, even if it hurts me, and it's fine. And it took me a while to actually figure out that comes from self-confidence in my abilities. I know in the bottom of my heart that if I think something is smart to do, 99% of the time, it is smart. So if it pops in my mind, I don't allow that second thought, the second chance thought to come and to override it. Also, myself all the time, I'm not mad. If this pops in my head, it means that there's a reason why it's in my head. And so, no, I'm not rationalizing it. I'm not explaining it. I am not going annotated diagram to it. I'm And if I fail, it's okay. Do you guys realize that willingness to fail is the epitome of
And you know something, you practicing a very good practice that makes people successful in life. To be frank, the brain is wired to look for a threat or a reward.
Yeah.
These are the two things but most of the time it's tilted towards the threat.
Yeah.
So we should have the ability to turn that threat into the opportunities that we see in. And until you are able to do that, you are likely to fail all around. Who am I to become the first emotional intelligence coach in Ghana? A woman just called me in the United States. She's my consulting partner now. She's called Tisia Jenkins Kwati. And just on the internet, he said, James, you are the first emotional intelligence coach in Ghana. Why don't you put up emotional intelligence conference for people to attend and learn? I said, wow, how do I do this? Where was the money? Could you believe that this woman, between me and this woman, were able to host the first ever Emotional Intelligence African Summit in Ghana in 2018? I was able to overcome that mind. That tells you that you are nobody. And very soon when we get into COVID, I'm going to speak about what I call the learned hopelessness. The learned hopelessness. We've been made to be that we are. Come again.
I can't wait for that one.
Wow, yes, that is one of the challenges that the COVID has broken. Learned hopelessness. Who are you? Who is your mother? Who is your husband?
Yeah.
Are you from Trasaco? Do you live in Trasaco in Ghana? Where did you have your training? Which school did you attend? Where have you worked before? Who is your godfather? These are the things that stand in our way. And we're made to believe that we are hopeless and nothing can come out of us.
Yeah.
Very, very important. So that practice of controlling that small voice is very, very important. We must be able to control that voice at any point in time. To be emotionally intelligent, remember, emotions start from the brain. So anything that you allow the brain to absorb, you are likely to be that.
You know what's very...
If you believe that you are a fool before you realize you are a fool. If you believe that you can do it, good. If you believe that you can do it, you will surely do it. We are not talking, let me put a caution here. In the self-confidence, we have to distinguish between blinded optimism and real optimism. How do you build self-confidence? Right? Yes, I may appear to be self-confident because when I heard that you're going to interview me, looking at your reach, looking at your followers, I have not taken this opportunity for granted at all.
Oh.
There have been a sleepless night to go into this encounter to make sure that people will call you at the end of the program and tell you that the gentleman did well. You get to my point. So you don't just go around with your chest like that. That is blinded optimism. You need to be prepared.
Yeah.
You need to do whatever it takes to prove to the people that that confidence they see in you is not just a mere exposition of the body language. Very, very important.
That point is critical. I was going to ask you about something, but let me tag onto this one. So people say that success is a learned habit. Success is a learned habit. Win the first one. You don't believe yourself. You think it is a chance. But it makes you dare to try again. And if you win the second one, you begin to take notice. Oh, maybe I'm not that bad. And then you win again is when the activity begins. And when you go past that, you get to complete. I've been teaching 17 years now. I walk into a classroom with my eyes closed. I know myself, and there is no doubt about it. I have won, and it is stuck. And there are some things I can't do. I always say to people that I'm not artistic. I cannot draw to save my life. Everything I draw is bad. So the next one I draw, and then the next time, because I know it's going to be bad, I make it even more terrible, sometimes purposefully. I don't want to try, so people will tell me it's bad. So I've got into this vicious cycle, and a lot of us get put in that. It is so easy. But the second point I was going to as a young girl, my mom said to me that little voice you hear in your head, which says that you cannot, excuse me, guys. Do excuse me. Apologies.
One minute. Good. Yeah.
My mom says that voice you hear in your head, which says you can't do it. And my mom says, my dear girl, if anybody tells you about the devil, this voice is the devil's voice. And I'm looking at my mom like, what? Because yeah, the devil in the Bible and the devil people refer to is this voice which says you cannot do stuff. And this voice is so convincing that if you are not careful, this voice lets you believe that it's right. And you will give up because the voice convinces you that you can't do it. And the minute you actually allow that voice to convince you, you have lost that battle. There's nothing you can do about it. So this happens to us like I am moving towards management. So if somebody who's been put in this vicious cycle of I can't do it, and that little voice becomes louder than your ability, and you know it's hindering your progress in life, you've got to break this cycle somewhere. How do you start breaking the cycle? What do you do?
Good. This is a very good question, because all our challenges and problems comes from this kind of a challenge, that there is something you can never do. There is something that you never need to dream about it. There is something that you don't have to envisage that it will ever happen. Now, back to the self-confidence, right? You must get to know, and this has something to do with our upbringing. You must get to know that you are born with some capabilities. Very, very important. Now, these capabilities need to manifest in you. Now, here, I even want to go back a bit before I come to your question. Because people might have grown with I cannot do spirit already. So in the infancy, when they are children, what do we do first in order to make sure that we don't make the children grow up with these things? So we need to speak very positive things into the children's life. Kofi, you know, you did this thing. I believe that if you have done ABCD, it will have been better. You don't have to condemn Kofi. Let them appreciate the little achievement that these children will have. Any little thing they do, appreciate them, reward them, and let them know that they can even do better. That should start from when they are children, so that they grow with that confidence. You know, when I was a child, at the age of 7, 8, my uncle that I lived with, the late Oyimpenchi II of Eyandetra traditional council, he was the paramount chief of Eyandetra. Now he said something, and that thing changed my perception in life. You know, when I was young, I was one of the guys that can clean his house, his room very, very well. Very, very, very well. So I do things and I do it perfectly. Why? Because when I was with him, a child, he would give me a place that I clean. And as a child, what I do was that instead of me to move the chair and clean the place, I would clean around the chair. So when I'm ready to go to school, he has to inspect all that I do. So he will go with me. When he moved the chair from its original place, he will see the place is dirty. I will be forced to clean it again. So I learned that you need to do things and do it well at the first time. Secondly, it got to a time because of what I do, he started speaking some words into my life. Kwesi Achel the Great. Kwesi Achel the Great. When I'm from school and I come and I do anything, say Kwesi Achel the Great. Kwesi Achel the Great. So I became, when I'm growing up, I begin to have that idea that there is something greater in me. He may not have seen what I would have become in the future, but from what I was able to do at that time, he was able to top up, making sure that positive, we call it the positive emotions. We're talking about emotions like the dopamine, that when you inject people with that feeling of happiness, they are able to do and do better. So we must go back to when we are children, and as parents now, what do we do not to kill the self-confidence of the children? What do we do to take that small voice that keeps on telling us that you cannot do this particular thing? It's about speaking positive words into their lives, making sure that right things are being done, making sure that you guide them well, making sure that counseling is going on, making sure that you take them, you allow them to go through what we call the minimum stress levels. The minimum stress level. Because you have food, because you have everything, don't allow the child to misbehave. A child that knows that if I don't bath, I will still eat, will continue not to bath. And one day it will be a challenge to the wife. You will not be bathing in the marriage. So although you have everything, you must allow the child to go through the step-by-step approach of becoming somebody in life. This is very, very important. Now, how do we as an adult deal with that negative thought of not having the ability to do something? The first thing is that we must believe that as humans, we have something that God has put in us. Each and every one has a talent. When we're able to identify the talent, that will lead to your purpose in life. And then we have a purpose in life and you become focused and committed, you make a difference in life. Anybody who is not able to identify his or her talent will not have any purpose, any meaningful purpose in life. And there's nothing you can achieve, and especially you may not be able to live out any good legacy. So first and foremost, have that belief that so far as you are born onto this earth, you have something unique with you. And you made mention of the fact that you cannot draw, and you don't feel bad about it. That is what we call emotional positive self-regard. It's a positive self-regard. You know what you know, and you know what you don't know. Now, anybody, people that have made it in life, when you read about Bill Gates and others, when you read about Jack Ma, one of their strongest skills or character is positive self-regard. Positive self-regard. Your ability to identify your strengths as well as appreciating your weakness. Very, very important. You do what you do it best. What you cannot do, what you now have to do is to help somebody fill that gap or go for that training to make up for that difference.
That is so important. See, if I had made the stupid mistake to attempt to become an artist as a professional, I would have been a failure from the beginning, and there is nothing I could do about it. Knowing that becoming an artist is not in my intrinsic sense, and electing to go and do things that are mathematical rather than artistry distinguishes the possibility of being successful from eternal failure. Is really important, right? You can't draw, but you want to be an artist. How is this one going to work? It won't. So every project I undertake would have been a failure. The next one would have been a failure. and I would feel a failure after the third minute because I'm seeing evidence of it. But knowing that this is not my skill set, eliminating that from my possibilities, redirecting myself towards where I am likely to be successful has a more positive impact. It does. So that now I can tell you I am rubbish at art, but I'm good at other things. It doesn't matter. I can
That is it. That is it. That is it. So it's a critical point of overcoming I cannot do.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And so what? Doesn't come, life doesn't end with only that one. There are various techniques, there are various, talents in life. You get my point. So getting to know what you are good at and what you are not good at will eliminate that mentality that I am a failure, I am not good at something. Very, very important. We will never be good at all things. Never in our life. I wasn't that good in mathematics. You getting my point? Yes, but anything that I learn, I have the capability of making sure that people will learn it easier for me. And who was I born to become? I was born to be a teacher. So many years, I went into banking, I went into a whole lot. But then, when I completed my program in emotional intelligence, I beginning to zoom in into when I was a child. That in my village, there was a blackboard in my mother's house that was made specifically for me. And what I do is to go around and get assignment and bring the children, then I'll be teaching them. So from day one and from that time, I was born to be a teacher. And when I started in this project, the fulfilling, the self-actualization that I'm experiencing is overwhelming. I become so excited when I'm asked to do anything to do with what I'm doing now. And that is the source of wealth to come.
Yeah.
Anytime that you are doing something, now without a pay, without assurance of anything in the future, and you are still happy in doing, wait for the moment. The monies are about to come. Bill Gates started enjoying computers, playing with computers. So Bill Gates was so excited about computers, and the money came. Jack Ma was rejected in so many ways. The man was rejected in so many ways. A rejection, which is an unhelpful emotion, which would have sent Jack Ma into a distress mood, a useless somebody. Jack Ma was able to turn the rejections into running my own business, and is considered to be the richest man in China as we speak now. He said all the rejections turned out to be a good lessons for me. And he got to a time, the mother laughed at him. Jack Ma said, my own mother, he laughed at me because we went for an interview with one of my cousins. We were only two. Interview to become hotel attendant. They took my cousin and left me. He said I was rejected. So the mother laughed at that moment. But Jack Ma was able to manage the emotions that came with rejection and saw the positive in that. Started his own business. And now, look at where the man is. Very, very important. So back to still removing that negativity. Have that, appreciate your self-regard. Have a positive self-regard. Know what you know. Appreciate what you don't know. Right? Welcome your weakness. And I mean, there's nothing wrong of you not able to do something. What you do and do it well. It's very, very important. Okay. Now, the other thing is that let a failure or a challenge be a specific in nature. Allow failure or a challenge to be a specific in nature. Don't make it universal. The fact that you have failed in mathematics does not mean that you fail in geography and English. It has nothing, they have no correlation at all. So anytime that a negative thought comes because of previous experience, just delete it and know that you can go into this area and you do well. You do well. Very, very, very well. So these are some of the things you can do to really overcome that voice. And I'm very happy that you really, how do you call it, brought about these things. And I like moderators. I like moderators like you, right? The people that can really bring a question that will excite you as an expert. Because when you asked me to introduce myself, I couldn't say anything much. You get my point? Because I know that people will get the real who they are encountering. It's not about too much of what I will tell them now, but what they are going to pick from what is coming. And I like the questions that are coming. Very, very important. Very positive.
You and I are very similar. To be honest, when you tell me that you don't like me, it doesn't bother me because you can make a choice whether you like me or not. It's your choice. And I think you have every right to that choice. So it doesn't bother me. But if you tell me that I cannot do, then you have a problem on your hands because I will do and prove you wrong and rub your face in it. That's
good. Good.
A girl cannot do this. Is exactly what I would. Somebody from should not do this. It's exactly what I would do. So when I was there, I was teaching at first, people said to me that a person who is of Black ethnic minority, especially an African in England, you cannot go into management. That's exactly what my aspiration was. And the day we all celebrated, danced round, and it was done. And I remember calling that very person who is my friend. And I said to him, did it happen or did it not happen? And he says, my respect for you this day hits the roof because it doesn't happen, especially in this time, especially from these circumstances, in the school and with the circumstances. When you tell me that I cannot do, then we have a problem because you've given me motivation to rub your face. You have. I know people do that and toil, and the minute you tell me I cannot do it, you've created a problem because I will. Because I will. And it distinguishes me from some of the other people I interact with. Because I know too many people, when somebody says, no, you didn't get the job. Yeah, they can't do it. Oh, you will not go, you can't do such a thing. And they resign themselves to not be able to do it. For me, it takes me to my strategy table. The fact that I can't do it now and the fact that you actually belittle me is the reason why I will systematically succeed. And I will come up with my motivation always is to rub your face in it. To make you humble pie. And because I am so focused, wanting to make so many people eat humble pie, it has really pushed me forward to achieve some on things. And I don't know, people ask me, where did you learn it? And I can't answer that question. So maybe, James, you might help us. How does one learn?
Good. You see, I was very happy when you said that you went on a training.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. So knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. What you don't know can kill you.
Yeah.
And it's a fact. And what you know can make the difference.
Yeah.
Right? What gives you edge in life is the knowledge you have. And it's very, very, very important that we seek knowledge and appreciate knowledge. We are most of the time not intentionally enough. Right? I've seen Pastor patient Osei. He said, reject me today and you see me tomorrow and bow to me. Rejection is my catalyst. Now, Pastor Osei, how do we build a character of rejection becoming a catalyst? Is to seek the relevant knowledge. Seek the relevant knowledge. Seek the relevant knowledge. Seek the relevant development. Very, very, very important. Because when people reject you, then you need to be strategist enough to prove them wrong. And how can you do that? You do that with knowledge. Very, very important. You getting my point? So one of the ways to be able to do that is to get the relevant knowledge and expertise, because most of the time we are not intentionally enough. We want to move from A to B, but then we just relax. You getting my point? If you want your child to be an A-class child, you don't just eat sandwich and go to bed. Very, very important. Yeah. So what effort are you putting in? It's so important. Yes. I want to take your head off.
Are you listening? I do hope that those who ask, how does one become successful? And usually when you ask people who've been successful, like I was also stupid not too long ago, I'm not sure how. It's a lie. But it's not a lie people tell you intentionally. It's a lie. When James took me, actually, most of the things I've done have been driven by that course. But I have never given that course the due credit. I've never really sat down to think about that course and its impact until I was preparing to talk to you. And when I started thinking, I realized that has changed my life. It changed my marriage. It changed my professional life. It changed who I was going to be the person who's employed my entire career, because that was my mentality. But having gone on that course, I have started businesses. I am doing outreaches. I'm doing a lot of things. And if I actually date most of those things back, it dates back to that course in 2008. It was a game changer for me. So if you ask somebody and they tell me that I don't know, it's my job to look at that person, backtrack the person's life, and to find that critical event. And that critical event usually is a point of learning. It's a point of discovery. Might have happened in a call, might have happened in conversation. But that day when that knowledge becomes accessible to you is your turning point. I hope you are picking that strongly. This conversation we are having. It is critical to succeeding. Where you go and how I've talked to you guys about this. When I go to places, I told you from my employers from September I am changing job description, and that decision on the 7th of January, they invited us to go for go and watch my video. On my way to that thing, I did a live video, and I told you guys that I was meeting the colleges and the owners of my school. It normally doesn't happen. They shouldn't invite me, and when they invited me, I had every right to say that I wouldn't go. But I wanted to go because I knew movers and shakers would be there. I didn't know opportunities was going to present itself, but God, I was going to carve one out. I went, they had four tables. I went to sit on the table with the head teacher, with the principal, with the owner, with everybody who was congregating, and I was the only odd one out. And I had only just started working in the school 3 months. I did not have any title. I could have gone and hidden in the corner like a friend of mine did. Both of us walked in. She went and sat in the corner. I sat on their table. But it was when we started talking about the things we do with technology. And I said to them, I've been researching this area for the last 5 years. The head teacher drops her pen. She looks at me. And she said, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing a doctorate in this area. She looks at me and she's like, what? But I told the head of secondary that and she's like, you know, some of these things are written on your CV and stuff, and it doesn't quite relate. You're doing a doctorate in EdTech? I'm like, yeah. Oh, wow. So we started talking, and the trainer turns around and the trainer said to them, oh, I saw a written piece of yours. I read a piece of yours. I didn't even realize you were in the area, but I came across a piece. Somebody was telling me about a science teacher who's changing the things with tech in class, blah, blah, blah. At the end of that day, when we got back to school and I was walking to my car, the head teacher said, I am so glad that we crossed paths today, because I see you down the corridor and you don't look at me. I see you down the corridor and you are so subdued. And I'm doing that on purpose, by the way. I don't want any trouble from the existing teachers. I just want to get on with life. I wanted to establish. So I don't. But every every time I see you, and when you hear the way the kids talk about the way you teach, there was something funny. But I didn't quite know. It was today the time that I got to know you, and I heard you, and I've seen you. And if I was not sat on their table, they wouldn't know. She would never have known. And it was that choice to sit on their table, to make myself vulnerable, to be the odd one out, was very critical. But you are right. Being intentional is so critical to success. It's unbelievable. James, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell that story. I went on a tangent, but I wanted to just emphasize what fact I was saying as well. Do you agree?
Good. Yes, it's perfectly true. The experiences you've shared are very powerful, very practical. This has moved us from, I believe in some of these examples because it amplifies the theoretical aspect of whatever we seem to be doing, right? So it's very, very important. The next thing I want us to remember in doing that is to look for our passion. Whether is this our passion at all? Do we get that joy from what we are doing? Because basically, if you don't have the passion for it, it will be very difficult for you to hit the rock and still think that it's success, it's doable. You're getting my point. Now, how do we look for our passion? Go back into where you were a child. What were you? What did you like doing? Even as an adult, is there anything that you do and you have that inner joy? Is it possible? You getting my point? Make sure that you've identified your passion. You must also be independent. You see, that is simply have the ability to take a particular course, right? Be focused and move through. And you must also be responsible for any outcomes that comes. Very, very important. Anybody that lacks the ability of becoming independent is not going anywhere. It will come to a time that people will challenge what you believe. Do you have that independency to go ahead and face the consequences? Let me give you an example of Jack Ma. When Jack Ma decided to go online, all the people told him that, my friend, when you go online, it involves money. Anything goes wrong, you go to jail. So everybody was running away from that idea of Alibaba online, right? Because he also thought that we only have some online payments that have nothing to do with China. So if we don't have one that is from China and something happened now, how do we get our goods and services purchased? You getting my point? So there was in 2014 or 2004, thereabout, he was in a World Economic Forum, and somebody talked about independence.
Yeah.
Now, from that moment, Jack Ma called them from Europe and said, we are moving into the Alibaba Pay, that is the Alipay.
Yeah.
We are going to do it. If I am not successful, if there's any challenge and I go to jail, the deputy CEO will continue with it. If he doesn't finish and he also have to be in jail, the next in command will succeed. This is what we call independent. Yeah. Are you independent enough to carry on with the decision? You're getting my point. I was a banker and I resigned and I started this, right? Now, I need to be very independent to have gone this lane.
Yeah.
Because every month you are getting paid, whether rain or shine. Now you are moving into an area that is not easy to sell, that people know difficult to appreciate the value, right? Because it's not tangible. It's not rice, it's not oil to sell and get the instant gratification and the importance. And now you're going to be like pay as you go. The monies are not going to come like that. So you need to be independent to be able to take a decision, follow through with your decision, and be responsible for every outcome that comes with it. It's a hallmark of anybody that can get rid of that kind of mentality in the head.
Yesterday, those of you who watched on the night, we were talking about spousal support. I was talking to women about not waiting for validation from your spouse, not waiting for other people to tell you it's a good idea before you get started. Because that's one of the reasons why a lot of good people never did anything practical with their lives. And that's exactly what James is saying. Sometimes you are the dream holder, and it is you who sees the vision clearly. You don't need another person who will tell you it makes sense. You don't need validity because you are not mad. If you think it's a good idea, you've got to trust your instinct. You have to be independent. Not what your friends say is final, but what you think is also final some of the time, regardless of what people say. And if you get to that point, you would dare to dream and do new things. James, I know we have overrun. Like you said, in one session, so we should make a few regular sessions of it. Because I am learning, I am loving this. Those of you who are watching are also learning. But James, if somebody is on here today, the person has heard you talk, we haven't concluded, but we want to help them to make progress. What should they do next?
There was a break. If somebody is not here today.
So if somebody is here today and they've heard you speak about this for the first time, they know that it's not an area of strength, this emotional intelligence. It's something they need to work on. And so the person needs to do something to become more resilient and to manage their feelings better. What should they do next? Having watched you today, what should they do next?
Yes. Okay. I think first and foremost, they should follow me.
Okay. Where do we follow you?
Yes. It's very important. They should look for me on James Kwesi Addison. James Kwesi Addison on Facebook. James Kwesi Addison. The Kwesi is Kwueis. James Kwesi Addison. Good. Secondly, they should look for me on Addison International Center for Emotional Intelligence. Addison International Center for Emotional Intelligence. Addison International Center for Emotional Intelligence on Facebook. Addison International Center for Emotional Intelligence.
Okay. Addison International.
And then they should also center for the center is the American one.
Okay.
CENTER.
Okay.
And then they should also subscribe to my YouTube. I have a television station, online station dedicated to building emotional capital. So Emotional Intelligent TV. If you can add that, Emotional Intelligent TV on YouTube. Emotional Intelligence TV. EITV. Emotional Intelligent TV. EITV. Very, very important. Now, the reason why I've shared this is not just I want them to follow me for following sake, but remember, we need to be intentional.
Yeah.
We need to go to where the knowledge can be located.
Absolutely.
We need to be intentional with whatever we do. So all these links are to expose them to some of the things that we do, some of the videos you share, so that they learn. Very, very important. Secondly, what they have to do, I will give some small thing here. What they have to do, and it's very, very important, that I want to meet them again. Probably next year I will be in Dubai and I want to meet them again. So I want them to remain resilient. Very, very important. What they have heard today, I want them to remain resilient. And to remain resilient, I want them to take away this. First, all emotions are okay. All emotions are okay. All emotions are okay. But not all behaviors are okay. All emotions are okay, but not all behaviors are okay. They should also know that emotions have sources, emotions have causes, emotions are rational in nature. Emotions have causes, emotions have sources, emotions are rational in nature. Very, very important. So when somebody is angry, don't treat the anger per se as being irrational. Watch the behavior that comes after the anger. Somebody is angry, he never took a gun and killed anybody. Somebody is angry, he has taken a gun, somebody is dead. So the anger per se is not bad. Most of the time, we destroy people when they display emotions, and we move straight into action because we've been made to believe and equate emotions to behavior. So today I want them to know that there's a difference between emotions and behavior. The Bible said, be angry, there is something biblical. Come again.
Be angry, but don't sin because of your anger.
Good. So God knows that somebody can easily cause you to be angry, but it is your behavior that will lead you to sin. You get my point? So there's a difference. Yes. So that is what I want them to appreciate in the first place. Now, they should also learn that there is a way to be resilient. If you don't get to know me and see me again, we won't have the chance of interacting. So we pray that they will remain resilient. And that means that they should have the ability to bounce back in terms of challenges and do well. And I will give them some basic techniques.
Okay.
The very first one is A, and I call that adversity. 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 In life, we cannot run away from adversity. We cannot run away from challenges. It's very, very important. Now let's move to B. I call it beliefs. I call it beliefs. The assumptions. What will people say? In life, we may encounter challenges. You may lose your job. People will start saying a lot of things. Oh, he's insubordinate. He doesn't respect anybody. I learned he even stole something from the office. That is what led to him being sad. People will say a lot of things, right? Touchwood, you may lose a dear one. People will say he's a witch. She's a witch. He's a wizard. All these things are what I call the beliefs. Let's move to the consequences. The consequences are the decisions and the implications of what you want to do. So, for instance, if there is an adversity of losing a dear one, now the belief is that people are going to call you names in this part of the world. She's a witch. He's a wizard. She has used him for rituals. All these things are what I call the beliefs and assumptions. The consequences is that I'm going to take my life. I'm going to commit suicide. Now let's move to the D. But then to be resilient, when you have the A and the assumptions start to trickle down, move away from the C. Don't kill yourself. Don't leave the marriage. Don't run away from the children. Don't abandon the family. Move to D. The D is what I call debate yourself. Debate yourself. Now, in debating, what we are saying is that look out for evidence. People are saying all those things. Look out for evidence. What are the evidence to support what the people are saying? If you know within yourself that these people have no evidence, have no basis of what they are saying, then ignore it. Very, very important. Ignore it. So there's the need for us to debate ourselves in terms of challenges. That I am James Kwesi Addison. I started this that nobody knew about me and about it. Now I've managed to be on Mason's platform. Very soon BBC is coming on board. Very soon Al Jazeera is coming on board. So when people start, when people start to challenge you with their beliefs, you debate yourself. The only way you can become resilient and overcome challenges is to do a proper debate, a thorough investigation into your own capabilities. And that is what David did. David in the bush, when he saw the giant Goliath, insulting the people of God. And David did analysis of himself, debate himself and said, wow, I have killed lions with empty hand. I am sure that I can replicate the same thing to finish this man. So most of the time, the only way to remain resilient is to subject your own self to critical questioning. Who are you? Very, very important. Now the next one is look out for usefulness of the adversity. What is the adversity telling you? You might have done something wrong to have earned you in that. You need to pick up the useful lessons. Very, very important. Something might have gone wrong. That is why this challenge has come. Learn the useful lessons in there. It's one of the surest ways of becoming resilient. I want us to continue engaging, continue meeting them. None of them should take their lives. None of them should think that the world has come to an end because of a particular challenge. You have done A, you have done B. When you got to the C, there was a challenge. You are not a failure. You are not. You have failed a particular situation, but you yourself, you are not a failure. There's a difference between failing at an attempt than being a failure yourself. The fact that you have failed in attempting to do something does not make you a failure. Very, very important. So we can't deal away with the adversity. But then when the beliefs comes, we must be able to debate ourselves so that we don't end up in the sea of taking a very drastic decision. It's very, very, very important. I'm even surprised that we did not go into our project itself. So I think we may reserve that for.
If we rush it, I think it's important that we take people on a journey slowly. So I wanted to hit that. But if you've got time and you can give us some time, either Friday or Saturday next week to continue, that would be
Good. You know something, you've done something that most of the time I find it difficult for people that host me to do. And that tells you that, that tells you that you're going to go far. That is also an indication, that is also an indication that you know what you are doing.
Oh, thank you.
Most of the time, people want you to jump onto an issue at stake. But then, in order to carry the people along, people really need to understand where you are coming from. So I'm very happy that we've looked at the importance of emotional intelligence in leadership in the school setting. Now, let me take you to the school setting so that when your school reopens, they will take this thing seriously. And if they have to fly me to Dubai, tell them they have to fly me. Now, a 19-year research that was carried on in Penn State. It was carried on by Duke University in Penn State. They took 19 years to do that research. And when I finish, I think we will end and then we plan for next week.
Oh, yes, please.
It came to light that emotional and social skills are what determine the success of somebody.
Yeah.
And has nothing to do with reading or writing.
Yeah.
The skills that predict success in life are social and emotional intelligence and has nothing to do. Now, what they did is that they went to the school and asked the teachers to rate the kids who were 5 and 6 years old, to rate them on their ability to listen. 1, ability to share, ability to collaborate, and the ability to be helpful. These 4 skills. Now, the children that were identified to have displayed highest level in these 4 areas were given to them. The children that were struggling with these 4 areas were also given to them. So what they did is to monitor the life progress of these children. At the end of the 19th year, they went back to check on these kids who were 25, 26 years. And here the revelations that came. The kids that were doing well in these 4 areas were in marriage. We are not saying that if you have not married at the age of 25, it's wrong or the heaven is coming down. They were in relationship. What that means is that at least they have the ability to coexist with other people. Because you coexisting with your husband does not take away challenges and adversities in life. They continue to be there. But your ability to adapt, which we couldn't speak about that, we'll do that another time. Your ability to adapt to changing situations is what matters. So these children, when they are at workplaces, they are doing well. They are CEOs. They have their own jobs. They are able to work in a team. They are team leaders. They have no problem with the law. You get my point? They are not into binge drinking. They've not contracted any deadly disease. The children that were struggling with the ability to listen, ability to collaborate, conflict manage, and they were not helpful. They were struggling with their skills. They found out that they couldn't even complete high school, let alone complete the university. They are into binge drinking. They've contracted deadly diseases. They have challenges with the law. That is where they came to the conclusion that social and emotional skills is a better predictor of success in life. Therefore, any school, any environment that is not incorporating and adding emotional intelligence capability building into his curriculum is not preparing the children for the future. And that is the 21st century. When you go back to Canada, when you go back to Netherlands, when you are in Denmark, let me give you this statistics and then we close. Denmark is now the second happiest people on earth. It is Norway. For almost 13 years, Denmark has been in the top first rate. As we speak now, Denmark is the second. Norway, first happiest people on earth. The same Denmark is on the fifth when it comes to the safest place to live on earth. Go and find out the basis for this statistics, and it is empathy. It is emotional intelligence being part of their education curriculum. In Denmark, they started teaching empathy as far back as 1993. Empathy are taught in Denmark schools. That the parent in Denmark is happy to see the child having 90% in mathematics as well as having 90% in empathy. No wonder Denmark is also one of the best places to work in the whole of Europe. That tells you that empathy has entered the workplace. And disciplinary effort and productivity has been affected positively in these places. Very, very important.
Absolutely. James, if you leave me, I will keep it for hours, but I like to keep it within that time frame so people will come back and watch. So this is an absolute most people become available in the evening. I will run a couple of watch parties. If it's from 2 hours onwards, people start it and they're like, nah, it's too long. So what we would do is do a few weekly sessions until we've exhausted it and people have understood it. I am going to start thinking about what we can do to collaborate and work together on. Those of you who are watching, contact James, get in touch with me. I will liaise and connect you. If you want to, please understand, if you're looking for James to consult for you, it's not free. Okay?
Yes.
Like everything else, you have to be willing to remunerate people to get a fraction of what he knows, because he did not know it by default. He paid to get it. So if you want to what he knows, you need to be willing to invest in coaching. If you are interested in coaching or whatnot, just get in touch with me. I will collate, I will talk to James, and we will put something up for you. Very important.
And before you end, there are a series of trainings that are run around what I call the Leader's Guide to Emotional Intelligence. Leader's Guide to Emotional Intelligence. Any leader that is lacking emotional competencies is not getting anywhere. Very, very important. I also run what I call the workplace.
Oh. Hey. What's going on? Okay. So the network was really bad when we first started. Clearly, it improved in the middle and some things happened to it. I'm hoping James will pop right back in so we can wrap this up. It's been one of those interviews that makes me think very deeply. It's been one of those interviews that has crystallized a lot of things going on in my head. It is one of those interviews that has helped me to really understand what makes me tick, what makes me successful, and what doesn't. And because I am working on what makes me successful, I can be intentional in choosing to do the things that make me successful. And I can also be very intentional in eliminating the things that make me unsuccessful. And again, that's the decider between success and otherwise. Knowing what works and doing just that. Knowing what doesn't work and eliminating that. Yeah, Missy, I don't even know what's going on. I'm trying to find him again. I am just asking him to please rejoin. Please rejoin so we can at least thank him and we can make plans for the next week. But I don't think James should be a one-off. Definitely not. It should be one of the things that we do a few times so that we derive the very maximum from this resource. Those of you in Ghana are lucky because he's right there in Ghana and you will see him in person more than those of us who are elsewhere. But my brain is ticking. I am off to go write quite a lot of things in my diary because a lot of new things need to be added to my diary, and he's back.
So I was talking about the trainings we run, and the next one is youth resilience training. That is where we take children, the adolescents, into how they manage situations so that they don't take their lives and all those kind of things. And then we have also what I call the social emotional learning. This is for educational establishment.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. Yes, yes. And then we're also doing something basically for parents, raising emotional intelligent children. Very, very important. I think one day we'll look at raising emotional intelligent children because they are the future leaders and our ability to get emotions right. Come again.
I have a parents club. So I have a group of parents who come to my parents club. Nana was putting some information about it earlier. Those of you who want to join the club, you can check it out. I have a group of parents who want to help their children, and we talk about lots of things. The one thing I have not hit with those parents is emotional intelligence. And you have to crystallize that today. Raising emotional
intelligent children.
Adwa, I am glad you are here. Please remind me so we discuss this in Parents Club for sure. He organizes training. I am looking to liaise with him to organize some training. Those of you who might be interested in a Zoom training with James, those of you who want to take the next so that you get more, get in touch with me. Let's look at the numbers so we can put something up. What we do on Facebook is stimulus. This alone is not enough. We need to delve a bit deeper. So let me know if you are interested, and I'll liaise with James and see what we can put up, because this is an area which can transform your life chances. It really can. You get this right, success is almost guaranteed. You get it wrong, and failure is also almost guaranteed. It's scary. That's important. James, let me thank you so much for today. And please have a schedule. Let's see what time on Friday or any time during the week. Let me know when you are free, and I will put up because we really have to continue this discussion.
Good. I'm also very grateful to you and your followers for it's been very engaging, and I'm looking forward to a couple of engagement with you as well. There is a 3-week online course too for people that are very busy. That 3-week online course for people in leadership is very, very important at the workplace. And I'm sure people should get ready for the lessons in COVID-19, right? Because I believe that the COVID has given us opportunity to reset and rebuild our various countries. Is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Very, very important.
For today, but I to appreciate what James was saying. You needed to have a wide understanding. Now that you've actually and you've understood this emotional intelligence, when he starts talking in the next session, will appreciate it. So thank you, James. I will be back in touch, and we will sort out the follow-on session from this one.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Okay, peeps. Right, let's talk. Feedback. Hit me. What's going on in your head? My brain is on fire. I'm not going to kid you about it. My brain is ticking. Tick-tock is all I can hear. Do you know why? Because when you have these kind of sessions, it makes you see possibilities. If you are one of those typical Ghanaians, this happens and then you go off as normal. The session was of no use to you. After things like this, you begin to start thinking. You should start seeing what you could change. You should see things that you can move on. And you need to also see things that you need to eliminate from your setup. I already picked 2 things which have to go. 2 things already in my life have to go. And I'm looking at things that need to get more prominent in my life. What are you thinking? Hit me. Feedback. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Remember what he said. Every emotion is fine. It's just the behaviors which are not always fine. The emotions are fine. The behaviors, the resulting behaviors, not always welcome. But hit me. Feelings. What were you thinking? Feedback. COVID-19 has brought growth in intelligent people's lives. Hey, Pastor P, you are bang on the money. Some people have transformed lives because of COVID-19, and some people are so much worse off because of it. The difference is intelligence, and you are absolutely right. We have to call a spade sometimes. It doesn't feel very kind when you say it that way, but it's as true as. So a spade is a spade. We cannot call it anything else. Let's talk. Hit me, or do you need to think before you send me your feedback? Oh, it's reaffirmation, Pastor P. That's self-reaffirmation, and it's so important. When you know that you are bang on the money and there's nothing to change, you just continue doing it. And you continue doing it with more conviction. And if something needs to be changed and you know it, then you can also redirect your purpose and focus on it and get the energy concentrated on it, and it will happen. The smile on my face, I think, says it all. It really does. Yes. I hope you also feel some joy in your soul too. I pray so. And if there's something which is reducing your joy, then it's something that needs to be actioned. It's an action point, and you hit on it right now. Put it in your action plan and start working on it. You know that I will be back on with Kofi Kranting in our weekly interviews. I will have that conversation with Kofi, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, EST. It's around about 7 p.m. GMT. I'm in so many different time zones. It's a bit confusing in my head right now, but there we go. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Go check it out. Those of you who watch it every week, you know what time it is when Kofi and I come on. It is in another 3 hours, no, 2 hours. 2 hours and a little bit, yeah. It has put you in a reflective mode. Yes, Fatima, me too. Your brain is making projections into the future, and that's exactly what I want your brain to do. I am so glad. I am so glad to hear that. Missy, God bless you too. God bless you. And whilst we are on, before I sign out, guys, I have been saying this for the last 2 days. I need to make some of these things happen more regularly. I do need to make sure that I am able to bring you quality content at all times. As I explained to somebody, and somebody got in touch with me today, and she says, Amma, you've put me to shame. I'm like, what do you mean? Amma, when you first asked for us to support you, I was wondering why you would be asking. It's not like you. But yesterday, when you told us about some of the costs involved in what you do, it makes sense. Yes, you are watching me on StreamYard, just the streamer, which allows your comments to pop on the screen and for you to see live guests. You remember I could not take guests. I could not even take phone calls. I wanted to get a better experience for you. It cost me $250 just to get StreamYard, I have a light. It's the reason why you see my face and you see it clearly. Yeah, there's a camera which feeds. There are technical stuff which go on. Yes, there are some things. There's a lot of hardware involved in putting the content together. When I do my short videos, they are actually recorded with a Canon camera. They don't come cheap. You know that. We have to use editing software to edit them and to enhance them and improve them and whatnot. And that's the reason why I've decided that I am asking you guys to support me as patrons. So have a look on your screen. That's my Patreon account. Those of you who are interested in emotional intelligence and some of these things, I'm going to be doing some exclusive content with people like James, and it's only going on Patreon for those who patronize me, for those who support me and champion me. They've got to get something extra. So we might put the general conversation here, and I might do a live feed, a question and answer session, just with the people who support me, because they are the ones who are making sure this happens. And in appreciation, they've got to get exclusive content. So if you want to become a patron, just click on that, patreon.com/Amma Manson. You have 5 levels of patronage. 3 of them are supporting patronages. The first one is the bronze, £5 a month, doesn't kill anybody. The £5 from 16 of you who could be life transformational for me. Yeah, £5 from 16 of you, and I could buy some of the devices, or I could subscribe to some of the networks and channels, which will help make the experience better. £10 is the silver membership. So if you've derived any benefit from the conversations we have, it really would be nice if you could pay back somehow, give back somehow, pay forward so we can all have a better experience. Great. So check it out. The silver membership is £10 a month. The gold membership is £25 a month. And there is the custom. You decide what amount you want to put in. So if you want to go down Patreon and do a one-off donation, then you do custom and cancel it after the payment has gone through. Or like somebody did this morning, she called me and she says, Amma, send me your PayPal. So I sent them a PayPal. They put something in. Thank you. I know you are on. Thank you so much. She put something in PayPal for me. These things allow me to buy and to acquire the services that I do need to refine this. So you will see some significant changes from next week, the end of next week, or the second week after that one, because of what people have done for me this week with the support payment. So please, let me convince you to go and be my patron. Let me convince you to contribute to what we all enjoy and benefit from. Let me convince you to support me so that we can all pay forward what we would enjoy going forward. And yes, it's been an absolute pleasure to be bringing you the content. I will still be on Facebook to put free content out as usual. All I'm saying is that there is a little bit of a supplement which goes to those who support because it's only fair. They make a more meaningful contribution, so they should also receive a more meaningful output from me. I think it's fair. Support me if you can. If you can think of any other ways we can make things better too, do come back. If there are other people you want to speak to, let me know which topics you would like to be addressed, and I will find the personalities. It's my job. It's my talent to find and reveal personalities I have discovered. It's something I didn't know before, but it clearly is one of my talents. It's one that I should be taking more seriously, and I'm so glad that I've discovered those things in our interactions here. Let me love you. Let me leave you. Let me go off and do my other things in preparation for the interview with Kwesi. I will see you in 2 hours' time. Adios.